pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for attending. Our first order of business is approval of the January 18th study session minutes.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next up, public comments. Any comments from the public? Next up, approval of the bills list. We've got the summary of the current, got 9,000 general fund, 5,600, 5,700 street fund, $550 park board, and 92.57 for water sewer.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, old business. Discussion, consideration, and action regarding the spray park. Now, there's been a lot of paper getting shuffled and sent around this last, 2 weeks? Joe, you want to?
Where we are right now is I got an email late last night saying that they wanted, the problem he's having getting bonded is that he's so much lower than the regular bids. And he's half the amount as what the engineer estimate was. So they wanted for Jim Ross to sign a letter stating that he went through the bids and he agrees that the job can be done at that price. And then they wanted, for me, they wanted a copy of the bids by line item so they could see how much difference everything was and all that. So I sent that off to him today. I'm waiting on Jim Ross. He said he'd give me his part tomorrow morning and I'll send that off. And this is our last chance off. They just want a little bit more information than that. I also sent Chris the credit, line of credit,
Letter of irrevocable letter of credit.
so he can take it to his bank.
Okay, and I think I understood, if I was reading through those right, that currently we got about $130,000 worth of equipment that's been shipped and is there, so
Yeah, is that-
you kind of would add that on to the price of that bid to kind of square it up with.
Oh, you take it off one of the two. You know?
Yeah, either subtract off the others.
Yeah,
or-
and that's why I told, when I wrote that letter to, that Bonnie come and said, you know, that 120 that you asked about, that's equipment that we bought that's sitting at Public Works, and none of the bidders include that in the bid, so if you count down on his, you need to take that off. And then it'll be a little bit closer to what the engineer estimate was. But once they get that letter from Jim, hopefully a couple days we'll hear something. But that's where we're at as of right now.
Okay. Anyone have any additional questions?
Now, Chris told me in the attorneys today also that his bank is not, he won't be able to get that letter of credit until Tuesday at the earliest.
Yeah, Tuesday. He won't be back. I contacted him earlier, or tried to contact him earlier in the week to get that, and he out of town until Tuesday. So I've been kind of dragging my feet on that part because I've been waiting to find out what we found, you know, get a word back on the bond. So
We got Alex, you guys any questions or concerns?
Anything you need to add to that, Alex?
No, nothing to add. I think that part of the, what Chris mentioned to us today was part of getting the bid bond might require putting up his house or some other support of collateral. So we won't know that until Tuesday when his banker gets back. If that is indeed what the banker needs, then we can have that discussion across that road, whether he's going to be comfortable doing that, whether his business is going to want to do that. And if not, then there's some options. There's always options as far as how we're going to move forward. I see at least 3 avenues as far as moving forward if that's the case.
If there are any more questions, we will move on to new business.
I don't guess we have a question until we know what we're questioning.
So, do you want to wait until Tuesday and put it back on the agenda for the next go around?
Yeah, I think we've got I'll defer to the board, but I don't see we got a lot of other.
Yeah, that's kind of where we are.
Kind of just in a holding pattern.
Until we find out whether.
Yeah.
Whether it's gonna be a bond or the irrevocable letter of credit.
So I can put, I'll put it on the next agenda. Okay.
Discussion, consideration, and action regarding 2024 street projects. I know we've had a couple of different items proposed and currently. The street fund currently has about $158,000 in it. I know the two items that have kind of been sitting out there was South Central, looking at that, it's kind of got the same problem Hudson had. And then Park Street, I think it's with the work that we're doing here, or planning to do with the spray park, that should drive a little more traffic down that way with the lights in the park and all the other stuff. And honestly, we haven't done much north of 24 Highway in the last 5 or 6 years. So folks on that side of town pay taxes like everybody else. Effort. So those are the two projects that I was looking at, but I didn't know if there was any other concern we can get bids on them. I don't know. It's kind of like we did with Hudson and Jefferson. You get you're gonna run, and I know I just got Phillips paving to bid my parking lot at work, and it was $115,000. I think that was for parking lots, so I can only imagine my streets are doing at this point.
I can tell you this, like I said, Jim, look up these numbers. The phase one, which is South Central, those are actually accurate numbers as far as what that project should cost, because this is gonna be a lot of work and so big on that one. Now, the Park Avenue, I told him to go from BP Highway to Lee Street. Is gonna, he included curb and gutters, which we've cut that out too. I mean, there's a lot of added on to that second project. He included curb and gutters, we cut that out. I told him, the only other thing I wanted to add to that project was down there at the corner of BB and Park, the water.
That's the
there's a
pool.
pool there.
Yes.
And somehow to get that to drain into that ditch that's going to the park. So, like I said, the first one is South Central, that's pretty much dead on numbers. I mean, but you never know until you bid it out. The second one, it includes everything, and if we decide to go with that route, we can kind of take it down to fit our budget, or divide up into 2 phases, whatever.
Was that in the packet somewhere?
Well,
Was those the pricing on that?
no, I passed that to you.
Oh, okay, I didn't see it in there.
Yeah,
I
I
saw the
passed that
fence
to you.
project, but it's.
So he's got the South Central estimate of $319,722. And he's got the Park Avenue one for $727,113. But, like I said, the
How
South.
much does that fund increase each month? Seems like it might take us a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be some
We get
rough
about,
sledding.
we get about $10,000 a month in
Okay.
taxes in there, just 10 to 12 per month.
So this, yeah, it might be another 18
I mean,
months or 2 years out.
I know that I know we're talking money, but at the same time, you know, that street is traveled probably five times more or more. And then you put the spray park in, it's gonna be traveled even more. And it is falling apart over there.
I mean, we can,
And so my thing is just the need, not the money, it's the need to do that street.
we can lower it down and go from Park to Veterans Drive, that's what, I mean, like I said,
Whatever they can do to it, you know,
And I wonder too, because right now there's not curbs on those.
no, that's what I'm saying, like, so we can cut some of this stuff out, this is just him with his theory right now, like I said, we can pick it apart.
whatever phases.
Yeah,
but
whatever,
phase
yeah.
it or something, but at least.
This just gives you guys a discussion, and if you want to, we can move forward, and you say, hey, I want to do this project, I can book it, engineers, get something going.
I have a question on the phase 2 Park Avenue, item 7. What are they going to do about inlet boxes and storm drain?
That's
I
probably
thought they
gonna be
were
right
already
there.
there.
Huh?
I thought they were already.
That's probably gonna be on the corner of BB and
Oh,
Park, to get, go into the park, you got that B down there.
Which is absolutely needed.
Yeah, that's what I-
Yeah, but it does say here there's gonna be 4 of them.
Yeah. Can't see my glasses.
So, anyway,
Maybe one of these corners, I don't know. Yeah.
Because it looks like just, I mean, if you stripped it to the bare bones, it's still 265,000.
Yeah.
And when you do the milling, so you're 300,000 just to mill it, go back if you did nothing, so. Which is
Also-
twice what we've got.
Pardon me, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have another question when you were finished.
Oh, go ahead.
Over there at the hospital and park, we've been dancing with that for over 6 months, maybe 8 months.
No, yeah.
Well, that water drains into that guy's,
Yeah, where it goes into the, there's a fire plug there and so forth. What's the update on that if there is one?
Triple C at first said that there was a drain there,
Yes?
and when I talked to him yesterday, he wanted to come back out and make sure for sure, and he's gonna give me another bid.
Okay.
Yep.
So is there a collection, is there a collection box there?
Well, I have no idea if there is one or not. That's what we heard that there wasn't, and we heard that there was, so.
Yeah, so I don't remember, I mean, it's been a day or two since I drove that way routinely, but I don't remember there being one down there. So
Well,
I
there's
always kind of ran
something
between
there.
the houses and down the hill and just.
Well, I don't know if there's a collection box there.
It makes sense that there would be one, because you got a pipe coming down the hospital going across to the guy's yard, and then it goes, that's north and south, each kind of.
Right.
And then you got one going east and west, and it should have said right there.
Went over there in my yard by the mailbox, it goes from there across underneath the street. And then there is a collection there at where the Hearns live. Mr. Hearn just lives right there on the corner. And it goes, I guess, over to where, Keller's place is. But I guess it goes there, or does it come underneath the street over to the collection box by the mailboxes? Or do we know that?
You don't know that? The spoke, Chip C came out, they think there's a box, a junction box right there behind that fire plug. And all we have to do is open it up, take the lid out, and build a new lid with a grate on top of it to make it an aerial grate, and then that whole thing will drain.
That'd be a lot cheaper if it's that way.
Yeah.
When's he coming, or does he give you a date?
Told me to call him tomorrow
Okay.
and set up an appointment.
Okay.
So he right now, he said he's working on a lot of water problems by Odessa, so.
Yeah, bet.
Can we see if we can do that street in phases to where, as far as money?
I want to make sure the board's okay with these two projects being our focus in the near term, at least. Nothing blows up between now and then. Okay, I just want to make sure that we'll work on trying to make the funding right, but just want to make sure it was the right projects.
You gotta pay the piper, man.
Park Avenue first, we'll concentrate on that first.
Well, which one? I mean, I live on Central. I'm not trying to say, oh, do my street because I live. However, I know our street's sliding off the road. I mean, the potholes are becoming the whole road. Like, we don't have a street left. So I don't know I understand both sides, not disputing that, but which is worse in theory?
So my opinion on that is, yeah, we could patch that until we can afford to fix it,
You don't
right?
understand, we've been patching it. It's sliding off the road. Like, our street is crumbling. Like, Mr. Miles drives up it, it's a disaster. And I don't know, maybe Parks.
It's dirt in areas for sure.
I mean, maybe Park's worse. I don't know. You guys are.
No, I don't think it is. I mean, I'm not an expert, but it's not dirt yet.
It really is on Central. It's on Central and on, is it Broyles that you turn off up
Yeah,
there?
that's boys right there.
Those two, it's down to the dirt. It's,
And we had the same problem on Hudson.
definitely, yes.
I just need to know what project we're going to order, and then I can,
I think if we look at, like you say, shorten it up to Veterans Drive or Veterans Way.
okay.
So that is, and see what that's gonna run us, and then.
I mean, I drive on the wrong side of the road to keep from going down Park Street right now because it's so rough. And it's been patched so many times, it's cracked all over the place. And as soon as the spring comes, you're gonna see the big potholes, and they're in there, and they're a foot deep. I'm not exaggerating.
All right, so for the next
They're
meeting.
filling them with rock, the neighbors are. And and that's really not the thing that my direction towards it. My direction towards it is how many people travel that street. It's like a main street for the park.
As an east-west, yeah, it's what our second or third most traveled east-west street.
So if we can, I mean, if we can,
I guess
if we can put out that fire somehow, but then get to the street that's most traveled.
But we don't want to get too far ahead because we're going to cut that street to put water lines back to the park.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that
Oh, yeah.
we tear it up before we fix it, sort of thing. Because I know up here in Grain Valley where they cut that after they had it all done, and now there's a giant pothole up there by Price Chopper where they cut the road a few years ago. So we're going to do it, but it's not.
I mean, but
Let's
I
do it
can,
once.
the next meeting, I can show up the price on South Central, I mean, best as the engineer can do, and then I can take that other project, shorten it to Veterans Drive, and then no curbs except for the bottom, that BB and Park Avenue, and see what it comes in and is presented, and you guys can decide what to do.
Well, it looks like we're not gonna be able to do anything
Yeah.
till 2025 anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, so,
And that's what I was, yeah.
I mean, all the streets will be in worse condition by then, so, I mean, it might be a moot point. Worse than budget.
I didn't know too, you mill it and then, you know, I mean, we really need to do the sub base and all that, but I didn't know, is there a way? I drive down Holly Road every day, and it seems like now what they do is when it starts getting really bad, is they mill it, then they take a road drainer and go down through there and kind of take the ridge off the top, and then they pour gravel and oil on it. And
Chip and seal.
And there we go for another 2 or 3 years, so.
Chip and seal it.
But it doesn't have curbs and gutters, it's ditch, yay deep on each side. Well, we'll get some pricing and see what, kind of some scope changes and see what we can do. Next item, discussion, consideration, and action regarding hiring a part-time mechanic. Joe, is that you, JD, Chief?
Chief, you want to talk about this?
I proposed it to Joe, our old fleet maintenance mechanic at Grain Valley. He left there and he works at Mully Chevrolet. And he was interested in coming here because he lives here in town. Was interested in becoming a part-time as-needed employee, if that makes sense. He's not coming in working every week, but if a snowplow breaks down in the middle of the night, he's available. Same thing with patrol cars, those things. He can only work evenings and weekends. And over there, he ran all the patrol cars, the city trucks, diesel, everything, and the snowplows and spreaders. So he's already used to doing everything we own. The problem has kind of come up that no matter who we use, there's a lag time on getting things done. And like we had the situation with snowstorms and ice and no spreaders. He always made sure that they were prepared before storms. He made sure everything was maintenance and road ready. And I realize things break, that you can't avoid that, but they were ready when the storm started anyway. So I just talked to him. He gave me a price of what he would want. It's cheaper than the shop rate at any shop around. So I thought I would propose it and see what you guys thought about it. I don't think it would cost, I think it would save money over what we pay the garages around here. And he would be dedicated to us, so we wouldn't have to wait a week to get basically a lawnmower motor put on a spreader and things like that.
Question, Chief. Who do we use for oil changes, maintenance, and that type of general maintenance?
Well, I don't know who we used before. Since I've started, we're using Jack's down here.
Okay. Would this fellow be interested in doing that as well?
Yeah. He'll do all the general maintenance and can use the lift right here in the side quarter.
Right.
Was he
So-
working for Mully when he was taking care of Great Valley?
No, he was full-time at Grain Valley. He left there. I'll let him tell the story, but they were working him into the dirt is what happened. And so anyway, they've been trying to steal him for a while, and he got an opportunity to make more money, and so he took it. But he was with Green Valley for 16 years. I didn't hire him over there, so I don't know what he did before, but I know he was a mechanic somewhere before he started there, so he's got a lot of years of experience.
You're not asking for a guaranteed certain amount of hours a week or anything?
No, just if we need him. If we went a whole year without needing a mechanic, then he wouldn't make anything.
Joe,
if a patrol car breaks down and it gets fixed, that comes out of the police department's budget? That comes out of?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And then we got these new two police vehicles that he can do all the installation and save us a lot of money.
What it would cost him to upfit these new cars is, that's not counting the equipment, it's just the labor part, is about half of what it would cost with who we normally use. So the equipment prices are gonna be the same no matter where you go, but the labor part is half of what they charge at, I think 911 Customs charges $85 an hour, I believe.
One thing I did ask Joe was to have Natalie pull us, I just need to go back to the general fund on January 1st. And I grant you we've had money come in since then, was $71,000, which was about $50,000 less than prior year. In fact, it's the lowest it's been since 2019. So just making sure that we can sustain this. I don't want to bring a person on and then turn out that we have her deciding, well, we can't buy tires for the police cars because we're paying the mechanic. So I think it's a great idea, but I just want to make sure that we've done our homework on the finance side to make sure we can have that for the next meeting. Sure. I'm guessing she's not gonna need to know tomorrow.
You brought up the tires. I was gonna mention that I got us hooked up on the state bid, so we're paying half what we were before for tires for the trucks and the cars. So they're Goodyear tires, they're on the state bid. We don't have to go to Big O Tire and pay $300 a tire. I think the last set I got were $130 a piece compared to the $289 that Big O Tire was charging.
Wow,
Nice job.
well done.
Mechanic sounds like a great idea. It's hard to find what you really want to suit yourself, but it sounds pretty good. Hope it works out.
Well, I didn't come here to get an answer tonight. I just want
Right.
to propose it and, you guys talk about it.
Does he have a tar changer with him as well, or do we know?
I think he has one at his shop in his garage
I was
over
gonna
there.
say,
He lives on
somewhere to
Osage.
have it changed out. Surely there's some way to do that, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
so is it work as an hourly deal, like you just
Yeah.
work per hour? Oh, okay.
Hourly rate, but only as needed. He's not gonna get the guaranteed 10 hours or 30 hours or whatever a week. It's just, if we need him, we use him.
And on obviously, your police budget, that could accommodate that fine, because you'd be replacing what you take it to the mechanic for, is what you're
Right.
saying. Okay.
At a
I'd
cheaper
say
rate.
yes and no. That's one of the reasons having Natalie pull that, because one of them's gonna hit salaries and the other would be hitting repairs and maintenance.
Oh, okay.
Net, yes, you take out of one bucket the other,
Per account.
but they're two different accounts.
So is salary come in general fund?
Yes.
Okay.
All the police expenses and court expenses.
But equipment comes out of whatever department he's in.
If he's fixing the public works trucks, then it'll come out of water sewer.
Police department could come out of the general fund too.
So now if we do what we're doing already, all of that comes out of just one fund for whatever.
It comes out of our repairs
Okay,
budget.
I see where they're going with this.
But there's a repairs budget for police and a repairs budget for water, sewer, and public works.
I see where that gets stuck.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. Next up, discussion, consideration, and action regarding bids for the gate at the water tower. I saw a diagram there, Joe, that's the one where we're trying to fix a leak or something that we can't get through without the
Yeah,
gate.
currently we got a leak at the water tower, and the road going into the tower is steep and narrow, and then once you get through the gate, you gotta go up a grassy area that's a steep hill. The equipment they need to get in here, which is, welder, photo welder, and all this other stuff, can't make it up that hill. So they asked if they could come in through the cemetery, and JD got a hold of the president of the cemetery, and they're allowing us to put a double wide gate in at the back of the cemetery, so they can just come straight in, because it goes up to a hill and then it levels off, and then there's a tower. And so they can come into the cemetery and keep it level, they get the equipment in there. So JD got 3 bids, and the summary's on top of it. The cheapest bid is KC Fence Kings at $2,070. Then you got H&R Fence at $2,183, and then you got Guy Pick at $2,900. So we gotta get this gate in so we can get the water tower.
Well, I don't know if you look at this very close, but they didn't bid the same thing. One of them's got a 3-inch post, one's got a 4-inch post, one's got a 5-inch post. Only one said what kind of concrete they're putting in. So, and one says wood, does that really mean that it's gonna have a wood frame, or what's that mean? That's on the HA fence.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. I thought-
Is that a 5-inch T-post then? I mean,
Right, but, the other one says, Geyer was using a 4-inch, and KC was using a 3-inch. So, are those wood posts, or are they metal?
Well,
so the T-post would be metal.
Casey is gonna be using the metal post, because when they come up and I met with them, they were asking me if the barbed wire had to stay at the top, which it does, because it's gotta go all the way around and match. The one about the wood, I wasn't too happy about it, but I said, you just have to give me a bit about it, and we'll see what's going on there.
Okay, now, you mentioned the barbed wire. I only saw barbed wire mentioned on one bid.
That's the one for Geyer fencing, right? No,
No,
that's for the second, that's for H&A. Yeah, but they all know that the barbed wire goes to the top.
okay.
Cemetery had a 6-foot fence up there?
Yeah.
Did it? Well,
We gotta have the barbed wire, keep getting access to a water tower. That's what barbed wire fence is gonna put in.
Are we gonna have to have a rock hauled up there too for the drive, or what does that look like?
Actually, to be honest, if the way it looks now, it's just gonna come right off the road and it's flat. So if we wanted to, yes, but we have enough gravel to do it ourselves out there if we want that. If not, they just come back straight up in there and get it done.
Is that gonna be basically our new entrance then, or?
Could be for the heavy equipment.
For the heavy equipment.
Okay.
Especially during wet weather, you can't get up that hill even. if-
I guess there's a way to secure that with some kind of a lock? or-
Yeah, we put a lock and chain on it.
Which one did you like the most?
I want to be honest with you. I liked H&A's fencing. They were very pleasant to talk to. They actually took time out and they measured it to make sure that exactly what I needed, and they didn't leave until I was done talking. Geyer fencing, he didn't even come out and look. He just gave me one over the phone.
Uh-huh.
KC fencing, I was kind of iffy about them when they showed up. I mean, I don't know if the truck will come back out to Buckner, that's how bad it was.
how often do we?
And what?
I don't know if the truck will make it back out to Buckner. It was not a little,
That's how they keep the prices low.
How often
Well, it
do we
looks like they
access
got a
the tower?
913
How
phone number,
often?
so they must be on the Kansas side.
well, since we found this leak, I know that the company that actually takes care of it's been out here like 3 times.
But, I mean, you, our
If there were-
city,
We access it like once or twice a week.
that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, we access it
And
twice.
we have big machine come in at least twice a year, and we treat
But-
the tower, sandblast it, paint it.
But you won't be accessing it at that gate all the time?
No,
No, no.
So,
just when we get heavy equipment.
so how often do you think we'll need that gate?
Probably once a year, twice a year, depends on.
I don't see why we can't take the cheapest bid for that.
Yeah, it depends on, like, the only time, actually this time is because of the leak in the upper tower part, so they gotta get a big truck in there, but other than that, we get once a year when they come in, they do the inspection, and they drain it and clean it, the outside of the drain, clean the inside.
I just don't like the idea.
Jimmy made a good point there, on pointing out the metal versus wooden posts.
Yeah, that's what I was just,
Again, I can't tell on the H&A whether that's metal or wood, although it does say chain link galvanized. I generally see chain link hooked on metal posts.
Yeah.
So it makes me think that for an extra $70 or whatever. So $113.
113, right.
It's hard to tell unless you had pictures of one done and the other done.
Well, and I'm looking at this too because it's, because there's, if you look on H&A, there's wood, aluminum, steel, and then this is chain link, so I'm guessing, would that just be a 5-inch round pole like they put, chain link on?
That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know how well those things weather.
But it's gonna be set in concrete, I know Geiger said theirs was 3,000 pound concrete.
Maybe those are questions you can ask.
We need to get this done.
Do you know how much water is leaking out of that thing?
Enough to go down that hill and come onto research, and, yeah.
How many thousands of gallons do you think we're losing a day?
I know the water bill for last month was $13,000.
What's the average usually?
That's the question I don't know.
The average is
I just looked at the check.
I think we gotta get it done.
It's got a small leak, I couldn't tell you how much because it's cool up at the top, you can't actually see it. We got a pit that comes up to the bottom of the tank and it's a concrete pit and it's about 4 feet deep.
Yeah.
And it's going up to the top now, but it's been leaking for a long time. We've been trying to work to get them out of it, they came out here once, they couldn't get the equipment out, and that's why they suggest getting this fix in here, so he's been working on getting the bids.
It don't matter to me. I've seen some farmer fence that's still up at 50 years with wood poles, so it really don't matter to me.
Probably for as much as we're gonna use it, we're gonna be good. I would go with the middle one, that's usually my go-to anyway, pick the one in the middle.
Well, and the
That's
other
a
thing about the
small
one in the middle,
increment.
they also say that they will call dig right, and the other said, they reference like, if they hit something, just cut crap.
And that's the one that JD had the most pleasant experience with,
Yeah.
customer
Right.
service wise,
Yeah.
so I kind of leaned to that one.
Yeah, they're in Blue Springs.
I agree.
That's true,
Yeah.
and they are in Blue Springs as well.
Yeah.
So is that a motion to take H&A fence?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. H&A it is. And let's go right to the officials' comments.
I just want to commend the chief on how well he's done with patrol cars and things and the money that he saved us.
Absolutely,
Thank you, sir.
excellent point.
I thank everybody for coming out tonight. And, we'll hopefully have an answer next meeting. We'll be ready to, spring looks like it's trying to happen. I know we've got another couple of months to go, but it's be great to get that, everything finalized, so when the weather finally does hold, we can get that spray park going, and maybe by the time the kids get out of school, we can have something to do, so. If there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.